قال الله Howard La Yahweh Bashem Yoshe Bashem Gakadash belongings to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers and the folk corners of this earth. Pushing us with in truth and in sincerity. And brother Manat is like here once again with a short, relatively short, impromptu video. My brother posted this on the group chat probably 2 days ago, a day ago. And it's just, what make me do a video on this is just, when I take it in just now there, it's just the viewpoint of Esau Edom, you know, because this is how they truly feel. And when after the video, we get some precepts. But as soon as I finish watching the video, then I'll be I do a video on this, right? So we go play the video, get some precepts to see how we're going. We'll see what the so-called white man thinks about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and well, most of you Negroes, right? Because as we know, Elon Musk is a South African, right? Now this is an interview between this guy, the interviewer, and his father, right? Elon Musk's father. So we can see where he comes from, right? The thinking that he was grown up with, right?
Concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle, or?
If the US becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then, you know, it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yes, it goes under there.
Seriously?
Yes, of course. You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
For decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work. We fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression. That's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. You know, enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand, because the black population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never saw it.
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, because you're white.
So basically, he denying that, you know, he said he don't know nothing about apartheid. He said they never oppress us, they feed us, right? They fed us. After they beat, they rape, rob, you know what I mean, kidnap, and the list goes on and on and on. You know, the list just piles on. This is what they're saying about the situation, basically. You know, he don't know nothing about no apartheid and so on and so forth. Once they oppress millions of blacks for years. He said, no, we fed them. Right? Lady book at James 5:1. Says, go to know you rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten, your gold and silver is conquered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cried, and the cries of them which have reaped entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right? Yeah, they keep you back by fraud because that fraudulent statement, or you could say, well, they didn't do that. Well, they no press us, so we could say, well, if that's how we grew. And when we wanted to starve ourselves to that, they used to break these slaves' teeth and force food down the throat for them to remain, you know what I mean, to get them sustenance so they could go out and work the next day. No, I suffered that toothache this weekend when I had to take out the tooth. Not this weekend, one Slovakia last weekend. Took out the tooth Wednesday, last week Wednesday, so today would make it a week, right, since I had issues with my tooth. And I lies, a week since I pulled out the tooth, don't put it like that. Right, Slovakia. Right, a week since I pulled out the tooth. Um, and hey, I still getting with my aches and pains. And I was with anesthetic and so on and so forth and all these things. And however, for somebody to knock your teeth out and then shove a funnel down it and shove food down your throat, I believe there is a dish actually where they do that. It's turkeys. I forget what this do too, but it's a French dish. I forget the name. All right. Wait, see, your fellas, yeah, well, your fellas only for us to work. Just enough to survive. So we do drop out malnutrition. It's like if forgot to go on the do not disturb. Slack. Where was I? Right. So it's the gold and the silver that you reap because that is how these families get rich through slavery, slave trade. Right. That's how they get rich. So that will be a witness and a testament against them. So they could never say, "Hey, this didn't happen." No, this happened. That is how we're in the position only in today. Right. Now let me go to the book of Zephaniah 1, and I'll just go straight to the point 18 and say, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell on the land. So everything they do back then, up to now, not going to save them regardless how much, as he say, what, y'all don't love technology? Whatever advancements they feel they make, whatever missiles they feel they could make, whatever they think they could come up with, it can't beat anything that your Basham Yoshai have. You know, because he grant them that wisdom to do the things that they do. He granted them that. And he could take it away in an instant. So, you know what I mean? It's have nothing they could do to the Lord. You know? It have nothing they could do that would affect him. No weapon they have that could, you know what I mean? They can't fight with the Lord. They be real. That's what I mean to say. You know? All this gold and silver that they store up for the last days according to the James 5, that ain't going to help them when Yahweh Shai returns. When our Lord and Savior returns, there is going to be, as they say, hell to pay. You know what I mean? Because your payment ain't going to be with riches. No, that riches, we go take the riches regardless. We taking it, but it ain't going to be for that. You know, you'll have to go through what we went through. Right? Or they have to find all the rightful place on the so-called food chain. Well, that's for the other nations. More or less, in a nutshell, Esau is going to be wiped out. There will no longer be a nation of Esau. So they will not be an issue. But after them now, dwelling, you know what I mean, around us or in their borders, I'm going to phrase it like that. Dwelling in their borders, you know what I mean, go be who the heathen, the non-Israelites, right? For example, like the Hamites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, which is Africa, China. What did I say? I want to say it in order so I don't mess it up. The Hamites, which is the Africans, the Moabites, which is the Chinese, the Ammonites, which is the Japanese, right? They will be dwelling in their own border, but paying tributaries to us. Because the elect make up what? The government of Yahushai is Yahweh, Yahushai, King David, and then the elect. That is the hierarchy of it, rather. So when you really look at things in a bigger picture, right? After the heathen do us everything that they do us and still continue to do us to this day, and then come on TV and say that BS. Hey, the audacity of Esau Edom, the audacity is a shocker. And on top of that, they have even more audacity to do something as heinous as. But you could tell, like, the man acting, but you could say you don't know nothing about apartheid, you never see apartheid. That's why the interview had to tell him, yeah, because you white. Duh, shithead, don't tell me you never hear about it in your lifetime. Right? You must know about apartheid. The height of apartheid was in South Africa, so what are you talking about? And say, no, we never experienced apartheid because you're white. That's why the judgment to come for Esau Edom going to be so severe. You understand? Because they unjustly do what they did to us. Yes, we was put under them for punishment for going astray from the Lord. Yes. However, they went overboard with it. And that is where the judgment will step in. Alright? So nevertheless, I hope it was edifying. I hope it's packed food for thought throughout the Akim. I'd view it. Until next time, shalom.